going to be fun.
To the left of me, we have Enjay Gennerich.
Yep, I'm here. I'm in the producer's chair. Sorry, I'm a little out of it this morning.
It's the afternoon.
It's the afternoon.
Tells you the kind of night he had that he just said I'm having a rough morning at, 4 p.m.?
Yeah.
Across from me, we have Reginald P Spivey.
Good day, all.
And coming back, first returning guest,
Resiliency in action.
Brent Nelson.
How you doing, folks?
How have you guys been?
Not too good right now.
I've seen better days.
We'll get into that later.
Let's just say the studio smells like donkey ass right now.
All the McDonald's laying around.
These guys are just sweating booze and McDonald's grease.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I smell some Astroglide, but we won't get into that too much.
So, we mentioned at the end of the podcast 2 weeks ago that we went to a nice hockey game.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. Reginald, how was your experience with that?
So what you guys need to know is that I am a big Toronto Blue Jays fan, and the Blue Jays were in town signing autographs, and so my beautiful wife and Stove and Nick went to the game, got in line, stood in line for an hour 45 minutes.
We got there at 5:30.
Yeah.
It ended at 6:45, so an hour 50.
Yeah, so we were stoked though because we got there like 15 minutes before it was supposed to start.
Yeah.
And about 20 minutes in, my wife makes the joke, "I bet you were the last ones." Well, sure enough, after an hour and 20 minutes or whatever, there's this little girl with a baseball that they rush through, and I'm standing there holding my childhood baseball glove that I was going to get them to sign, and they rushed him out. And so I've accepted that God hates me, and that he's right to do so because I have no worth as a human being. So yeah, I love the game, Stove. Had a real good time.
Well, no, let's look at that night. So we sat in our beautiful seats.
They were great seats.
They were good seats.
Yeah,
I can't argue with those seats.
And then we watched the game, and there was this guy sitting
Oh Lord.
the row in the section right near. So we were in J, I think it was, and he was in.
We were behind the other
Net.
team's net.
Yeah.
So basically, this guy's about 7 rows in front of us, and his whole meaning in life was to see some violence at a hockey game and get really, really drunk at the hockey game.
Him just saying, "Go hit someone, you pansies." So me and Reginald, being the comedic people we are, try to be, we thought it was funny to start mocking this guy and we start yelling out anything.
Yeah. I heard the ones that I remember was Reg yelled out, "Fight his mother." And then
She's been asking for it. His mom's been getting up at him.
Fight his mother, and that was a really good one. And then no, I remember what the stuff that he was saying. He was like, what did he say? Shoot to score?
Yeah.
Good one.
That's the point of hockey. So
Shoot to score. If you can't take the shot, you can't score. So shoot.
I've created a backstory for this guy that he's like a failed WHL coach.
Oh,
And he fell into a spiral of drinking and depression. And so all of his money goes towards Blade season tickets so he can still feel like a coach.
do you know what? I was sitting with a friend of mine, I guess it was 2 years ago, and we were sitting in this part, and this guy came up to us and sat near us. And he's like, I used to play in the WHL. And I'm like, I thought
sounds
me
like
being
Jamie Williams.
Yeah.
me being the funny guy, I'm like, so who did you play for? I'm like, I played for Tri-Cities for 2 years.
Am I assuming this gentleman is First Nation, Stove?
No.
Sorry, you were putting an accent, so I was
He's
like,
drunk, he's drunk.
Oh, okay, it's
He's
just happening.
Chancellor's words.
I was confusing your First Nation accent and your drunk guy accent.
He was whiter than me.
Okay,
So he was white.
now how bad am I for assuming? I suck. Sorry, go ahead.
And yeah. So I'm like, okay, so where did you play after? Because he's like, you only played for 2 years, you can play for usually 5. So I asked him, where did you play after? North Battleford.
Oh, poor guy.
I'm like, I played for the North Stars for 3 years. I'm like, oh, what happened? He's like, I drank.
There you go.
There's a lesson in there, kids.
You know what? I gotta interject here because I know Brent's probably dying to jump in too. We know this guy from where we used to live, and his name is Jamie. And honestly, I've never heard more lies come out of a human being's mouth.
His cousin's Wayne Gretzky, so
He was the first man on the moon,
Really?
and he stabbed Hitler before he was born.
Okay, Hitler had it coming. Even as a fetus, Hitler had it coming. With that mustache? Because I'm assuming he was just born with that. But.
Yeah.
So what's this guy like? Did he actually play? Was he a solid hockey player?
No,
Or
and
just
he said
made
he
shit
played
up?
for. Did he say he played for Buffalo?
Yeah, and he coached the 2002 gold, Canadian team at winning the gold medal
in the Olympics.
In the Olympics.
And
says he coached
Okay,
it.
so basically what you're saying is there's a retarded guy in your hometown that likes to tell stories.
What did
That's
he
not
say?
lying. That's just a guy with a broken brain that watched the hockey game and said,
It's
"Yeah,
funny to listen to.
I told him to shoot to score, and they did. So I'm the coach."
Well, no, it's like it's like my stepdad back there. He owned a pizza store,
Aye.
and Jamie would always be in there gabbing to him about his stories. So my stepdad would come home and he'd tell me what he heard, and it was amazing. This stuff. Oh, he was in the WWF back in the day, and
Back when it was called the WWF.
and it was
That
what
might
was
be
his name?
believable.
What was his name? It was like something. It was like Bob something. Joe Bob. It was like Joe Bob was his wrestling name.
That's
Nice.
a bad wrestling name. I thought he'd be like, I'm Diamond Dallas Page.
Or Bob Backlund.
Yeah.
I'm imagining he was like part of like a hillbilly tag team duo, right? So he was like Billy Joe Jim Bob, and that's what I was thinking anyway.
But yeah, so there was him.
Yeah.
And what I can't remember. Oh, he had a car that could make it from Kalonze, which is 45 minutes ish east of Saskatoon, to Saskatoon in 8 seconds.
Okay.
Even though he had an old rundown 1994 Chevy Silverado.
Hey, but maybe it has a flux capacitor in it.
Yeah,
Back to
like-
the Future stuff.
So, you being this podcast official psychologist.
Am I?
Yeah.
Shit, we're in trouble. All right.
What do you think? What's your psychoanalyst?
Oh, my thoughts on this gentleman. I would assume that he, what we would say is he's got a developmental delay of some sort. He might be on the what do you call it, spectrum for autistic tendencies. But I'd suggest he's low IQ, and when people don't flat out say, "Hey, you're telling stories," he'll just assume they believe him and keep going. I've worked with that guy before. They're fun though. They're always entertaining.
Oh, he is there, and there was a picture that got posted on the internet the other day. Oh, I can't remember what were the exact words. It was like a picture of him.
He's sitting on a Chevy and he's smiling or whatever, and the caption is, "I don't always buy a truck, but when I do, it's a 32-speed Lambo."
That's pretty funny. Right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. We had a guy in my hometown growing up. His name was Shaky Al. He was actually a friend of the family, and got in a car accident and had like severe physical damage and brain damage. And he basically was a 15-year-old for the rest of his life. He passed away here about 3-4 years ago. But every night at the bar, he was always there. Never crazy drunk out of line, but he had this weird like speech impediment, and he sounded like this, and he'd shake when he got excited. And I love Shaky Al. Like he was the nicest guy in the world. Never got drunk. Never got out of line. But it was almost like he was like the retarded mascot for the bar. But no one treated him shitty. Like everyone loved Al. He was the nicest guy in the world. Sounds like Jamie was that guy at your dad's pizza joint, where everyone knew him and like, "Oh yeah, Jamie, you punched Saddam Hussein in the balls. All right, that's good to hear, buddy. All right."
No, and then there was another one. You know what Craven is?
Like the cigarette band or a cigarette brand? Or?
No, Craven. It's like a music
Country
festival.
Jamboree.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, apparently he's like Craven's like main event, like main attraction, and he had a tent pitched, and this happens every year at Craven. He has a tent pitched, and girls line up around the block, and one by one go in and sleep with him.
Okay,
and then for the whole festival.
Okay, I have to point out a possibility here. This guy's got it all figured out. No, because imagine if he believes all of this shit. How awesome is it to live in his world?
Like, how confident would you be?
Well,
like,
and because he's never living it, but last summer he honestly remembers banging all these chicks and headlining this country music show. How awesome would it be to have that in memory, even if it's false? Because you're crazy. I'm jealous of this guy now. I want to sit in a pizza joint and just make shit up. That sounds like a great life.
He was like. Yeah, he was like, yeah, I can't remember his exact words, but he was like, yeah, I just kept my feet out of the tent so they knew that it was me in there. And they'd line up around the block. And
real fans do know your
feet.
feet.
He's like, they'd come in one by one, but on the occasion, I'd go 2 at a time or something like that.
Have a
That
couple
was
of
just
menage
like,
a trois.
He's a gentleman. He doesn't like to push it too much. He wants to give every lady their moment of time with him. It's respectful.
But anyways, so that's Jamie for you.
Nice, but yeah, and so it sounds like maybe this fella had some stuff going on too, because again, the whole night was just him screaming in this really high-pitched, angry voice. Anytime the play got even close to where he was sitting, he knew they could hear him, and he had to let them know what they should do.
He was also, like, the goalie was playing fantastic that all night.
The Red Deer goalie was standing on his head. Like,
Yeah.
the Blades outplayed him for a lot of the game.
Well, for that third period, it was great. So, but then he just started making fun of the goalie making all those amazing saves, and I was like, by the third period, we actually stopped watching the game and started creating a sitcom featuring Adrian Brody and
Reg.
Yeah, I was gonna star in it. It's exciting. We're talking to Fox. We got some things in the works.
We're talking to IFC, and we're talking to BET, and we're talking
BET.
I couldn't see myself carrying a show on BET.
We're talking to Spike.
I'm pretty street.
We're talking to Bravo.
I don't know if I'm.
Network.
Wow. I guess we've been called on intelligence. Yeah, Spike. Maybe that is the place for me.
Spike.
No, that's actually going by their current programming. We might end up on Spike.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll just be on like the Shaw Community Channel.
We could do that.
Yeah.
Nah, we'll figure it out.
But the next week, the following Friday, I went to another Blades game as I often do. But I brought a couple friends with me, and on the way back, after yelling out of the car "Wu-Tang Forever" to an African Canadian fellow on the way there.
An African Canadian.
That's very respectful and proper of you.
Telling a guy, blasting "Eye of the Tiger" while this guy's jogging down the bridge and giving him inspirational quotes.
That's pretty awesome.
That is awesome.
He actually, if I was jogging and someone took the time to put on "Eye of the Tiger" just to inspire me as they drove by, I'd appreciate that. I'd be like, hey, thanks, mate.
Seeing one of my teachers shovel their driveway and going by once because we didn't make sure who it was and do it and playing Big Papa while doing this because I'm a G fellow.
That's a little that's
a G fellow.
I recall the Snoop Dogg hit "Ain't Nothing But a G Fellow Thing." It's the type of thing a G fellow likes to do.
The word "fellow" should never be after a G ever. The word "fellow" should never be in a rap song ever.
Okay, that's a challenge.
We played two songs. In Saskatoon, there's a street that is somewhat notorious. It's called 20th Street.
It's a rough neighborhood.
Yeah, I convinced my friend, like, hey man, make a turn here. Because he didn't know how to get to my house, so I made him turn on to 20th Street.
It's like in the ghetto.
Well, and as we're turning on, I blast on DMX's "Where the Hood At."
Yeah.
It gets better, because after one of my friends say that's a bad idea, I'm like, oh guys, I'll make it better. I'll turn on Eazy-E's "Real Motherfucking G's."
G fellows.
G fellows, real, yes. That's just wow. We talked about this a bit before the show.
But we were going by the farmers market playing this, so we felt like it was okay. The former wine store across the street, where we feel like it's okay playing.
There's a yoga studio there. So your point was that the hood isn't as hood as it used to be.
No, it's not. Like,
no, but you're sad about that. It's nice that the hood's been rejuvenated a bit.
Saskatoon's finally cleaning up the streets. And
kind of.
Well, dude, I've never lived in a city where it's so clear that this is the good side of the tracks, and this like even go to a Safeway. This is interesting. Go to a Safeway on 8th and look at what they sell and their produce and all that stuff, and then go to the one on 33rd. The lettuce is older, like the produce isn't as good. The brands they sell, it's crazy, and I'm sure there's some corporate accountant that knows why, but I've never lived in a city where it's that clear. Calgary has its rough neighborhoods, and you know where they're at, but it's not like
go across a river.
Yeah, clearly demarcated that. Yeah, this is the spot we'll just kind of ignore and let.
It's like downtown is off limits for anybody who makes over a $50,000 salary.
No, unless you live in
a lot.
We're right downtown, but and the thing is, but again, that's what I mean, like, because we're on 2nd, right, and 3 blocks to the west is Idlewild, and then another 2 blocks to the train tracks, and then immediately after that, it's fast food joints. There's about 3 or 4 head shops like that sell bongs and that type of stuff. I drive by like 3 or 4 pornography shops on the way to. It's crazy how quickly it changes. And I mean, it's weird. I've just never seen it that clearly done in a city. And fortunately, like you said, they're starting to address it. Like they are trying to rejuvenate the west side.
Better. Like you go on 20th, they have like a really nice theater there now, and like You know, they have a couple of yoga studios. And
There's oh shit, I wish I could remember the name of the organization, but there's an outreach center on 20th.
Station 20 West.
Yeah. There's that one as well. There's that one, but there's another one that university students, because my wife did free therapy there for a while. And they reach out to street people and that type of stuff. Because, we took in a bunch of bottles for a bottle drive one time. But I know they've done a lot of rejuvenation stuff just around
awesome.
there. Yeah, but, and it is, absolutely.
If people might think I'm being mean or even go to as far as saying racist or whatever, I was making a joke. We were 4 16-year-olds being dumb on a Friday night.
It struck you as funny in the moment. You didn't really mean a lot of disrespect, but is it a little insensitive? Yeah, but no one's getting hurt by that joke, I don't think. Unless there were 6 guys there that heard that song and got upset at you, and then you might have some quick talking.
No. But, with the NHL season starting up, which I know Reginald's going to peace out, drink his Coca-Cola for the
you guys can talk for a bit. I know Dick all about hockey.
I know somebody who's going to be doing quite a bit of talking.
Brent, lead us up, son.
What are your predictions for this year, Brent?
Are we going to talk? How about we talk about what's already happened first?
Okay, well, the Oilers are 1-1, which is better record than they've had the last couple seasons.
Well, what I seen last game was absolutely garbage.
Okay,
so for those of you who don't know,
Oilers lost 6-3.
So I'm at Walmart.
Just had a seizure.
And I'm at Walmart, and I knew the game was on.
Yeah.
And I knew that the Oilers were playing the Sharks, but I wasn't able to watch the game because I was at Walmart. And I get a text from my cousin, and all she said was Shark Attack. So I go on NHL.com on my phone, and it's 6-1 at the end of the first period for the Sharks.
Oh.
Yeah, I stopped watching after 5-1, and played some video games, and that pissed me off more because the game put me in a bad mood. So I just laid in bed and watched Dragon Ball Z and fell asleep.
When I'm having a rough night, nothing better than curling up in a fetal position and watching some Dragon Ball.
I love Sun going on.
Here's the thing. I did look at NHL.com. I do pull for the Flames. They're 0-2 already, and I think they're supposed to suck, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. This is how much I follow hockey.
They're supposed to suck.
So I'll just hope that they don't suck as much as everyone expects.
Well, today, there was rumors going around that the Oilers are sending Sam Gagner and Habib Boulin to Vancouver for Longo.
I would hope so.
Yeah, that's a great
That's
trade.
a pretty good trade.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. I mean, being a hardcore Oil guy, I mean, Luongo always had the reputation of being a bit of a playoff choke, and he's kind of proven it.
It's because they rely on Luongo too much.
Yeah,
in the playoffs,
it's
and
like
it puts far too much pressure on him.
It's like during the regular season, it's like okay, like they play their game, everybody kind of goes up to their part. But during the playoffs, it's almost like they leave it for. It's like okay, well. The Demon are just like, well, we got a good goalie, so like we're fine. Yeah. It almost seems like they kind of slack a little bit when it comes to the playoffs, and they expect him to be better than he is.
Well, and I mean, when I think of the Vancouver teams I did know about when I followed hockey a little more closely, they always had great forwards. They had Luongo in net. It's almost like the GM said we can spend a little less on D because we got. If you put a good defensive group in front of that guy, you're going to get more out of him.
Which the Oilers have.
Yeah, they've got solid defense.
Yeah. So
So yeah, like it was.
And Habib Boulin, I mean, he used to be great, but
I remember Habib Boulin. He's got to be 42 or
over
43
the off season. He's had his 18th hip surgery.
Yeah, like he's.
That's an exaggeration, but he's had a lot of hip surgery.
He's not.
Just say there's a few there.
He's he's not near as good as he used to be. And then Dubnyk, he's really hot and cold. I think.
He's a streaky goalie.
He needs to. He is 27 or 28 years old, but he needs to mature. He hasn't played as much as they should be letting him play, and I think that's what his downfall is.
So yeah, my two teams, Oilers are up here, they're my favorite team no matter what. But if something ever happened to the Oilers, I like the Jets.
Yeah. I'd like to see them do well.
Yeah, and
just for Winnipeg even.
Yeah, well, and the Jets played good against Ottawa. Their first game they lost, but it was a good game. Bufflin absolutely rocketed a shot.
Oh, they picked apart Washington on Tuesday.
Yeah, but Bufflin might have the hardest slap shot I've ever seen.
Oh, Al McInnes, shut up, no question.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying Al McInnes, but I'm saying...
He's in that category, because I remember Iafrate had a pretty big shot for the Caps back in the day.
Iafrate, well, and it's Chara now.
Yeah, well, it's 6'8".
Yeah,
That's a
you
lot of leverage.
You get a running start in the slap shot competition. Not all the time you're going to get a running shot on net.
Well,
At
and
109 mile an hour slap shot.
His clocked in at 104. Yeah. He was standing still.
Yeah.
I was like, that was ridiculous. That shot was ridiculous.
Yeah, but look at the size of Chara.
Oh no, Bufflin.
No, he's talking about Dustin.
Okay.
But Bufflin's 6'6", 250.
Yeah.
Still though, yeah.
Like I said, I hang on to the Flames. I was the one guy growing up in Rocky Mountain House, Alberta. It's right in between Calgary and Edmonton, same distance. When they had their great teams, the Gretzky, Messier, that whole crew, I was the one kid wearing a Joey Mullen jersey and hating life because we'd win the President's Cup and then the Oil would knock us off in the bloody semifinals every year in the Campbell Conference. Oh, it killed me. One year Vancouver knocked us out. Piss on them too. And then I always cheer for whoever Brad Stewart's playing for as long as he's still in the league. So I'm kind of glad to hear the Sharks lit you up, actually. We grew up together back in the day. So
he got traded.
Did he? No, he was in Detroit, and I know he signed with San Jose for this year.
Last time I heard about him was in Detroit, and I haven't heard a sniff of him ever since.
Okay, because I got a picture of my nephews with the Stanley Cup when he brought it to town when they won it. Yeah.
My predictions for this year.
He is playing for San Jose. Yes, you were correct. You were correct.
But yeah,
recognized.
I think he just got a Stanley Cup too.
Yeah, he won one in Detroit. Yeah.
Well, one in Los Angeles. They just won.
No, he wasn't with the Kings.
Oh,
San Jose.
He said on the Wikipedia page.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was he with the Kings last year? See, it shows you how much I follow hockey.
Yeah,
What a buddy plays for him, I don't even know.
But
anyway, sorry, predictions.
I would love for the Oilers to win the Cup, but I don't think it's going to happen this year.
They're getting close, though.
They're just young. Those young guys, when those young guys get fired up,
they need to make the playoffs.
They're dangerous.
But who I actually think is going to win is Pittsburgh. They are looking solid this season.
Is Crosby's brain working, or is it on checkout
like
again? Yeah? That's a tough one. I mean, I love the guy's grit for wanting to keep going, but you're putting your brain on the line to continue.
You have to look at a team like Florida. Florida has some young guns in there, and they're playing well. Florida's looking good. You can also look at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is no slouch of a team.
They're not doing great.
Well, but look at
they have Stamkos.
They have Stamkos, LeCavier, and St. Louis. And when that's a stud lineup wherever you put them. So you look at them.
Yeah, but one good line. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's like Washington.
Dallas.
They have one good player.
Dallas.
Holtby ain't doing great this season.
I like Holtby.
I like him too. He was good in the playoffs last season, but he ain't doing it for Washington right now.
But he's a young guy, right? Sophomore.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, Holtby is he's a former Blade. Like I'm gonna back him whatever. So Holtby never got any playing time. The first year was able.
You just don't want him turning up drunk at a game in the future, telling you about how he had a cup of coffee in the show, right, Stu?
Yes. Yes. So Holtby, it's sad to see how Green's being traded in Washington. He should really get out of there, go play for Calgary, go back to his roots. That's where he should go. But yeah, my prediction is I always go my favorite team from the East and my favorite team from the West. It's Oilers, Jets for me. I want this year. That's what I want.
Well, I know the Flames are gonna suck, so just dartboard. I always like the Boston Bruins. I'll go with the Brunos. Are they terrible? Are they dirty? Good. I'll keep cheering for them then if they're dirty.
The Leafs.
I hate them.
Have they sucked the whole time so far? Or?
I think they're 1-1.
Yeah, they're the same as well. I got a really funny picture I sent over to Brent a couple weeks ago, and you saw it too. It was from The Lion King. And it was the dad and Simba. I forget what his dad's name is. Mustafa.
James Earl Jones.
And they were sitting.
Recognized.
They were sitting on like the cliff.
Yeah.
And it was like at the top. The caption was like, "Dad, what's playoffs?" And his answer was, "I don't know, son. We're Maple Leafs fans."
I saw that about the lockout too. The only good thing to come out of the lockout is that the Leafs were undefeated for most of the season.
Oh, another hot team that could absolutely do damage this year. The Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
really?
They buy their roster every year.
Yeah, but normally they buy them and they suck. So it's interesting that it's coming together.
Gabrick.
I was like Rick Nash.
Oh.
He's a Yankee.
Gabrick's rank when he puts
Nash
it on.
Canadian, but he deserves. He deserves something. He deserves an honorary ring for being 8 years in Columbus.
Yeah.
That's paying your dues.
Oh
man.
yeah, 8 years in Columbus on like bad teams, and they tried to bring in people to make them better and just couldn't.
Yeah.
Like when who was the guy from Philly they brought in last year? Richards.
Yeah.
Yeah, they brought in Mike Richards from Philly.
I just thought he was pretty overrated.
he's a pretty good
He's a good player, but he gets a lot more cred than I thought he deserved.
Well,
at least the 4 years ago.
Brought him in terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a brutal year. But as
like Scott Gomez in Montreal.
Oh,
because he looked like the next coming in New Jersey. I remember that rookie season.
That whole Jersey team, like back in the day with Gomez and Giunta and Eliash.
Yeah, Jason Arnett.
Yo.
I forgot Arnett was there too. Yeah.
Even,
and that's the thing, because like there was a lot of talent on that
Bobby
team,
Wood.
but he looked like the guy on that team.
Oh yeah.
And then he went to Montreal and just
He hasn't got a goal in like 3 seasons.
For real.
Yeah.
Weird.
Wow.
He might have, but I just haven't heard about it.
Yeah,
he's online right now going, "Screw you, Brent. I got 4 in the last 3 years."
If I was
They were
Montreal,
nice.
I would sign PK Subban as quickly as I can because he's the best thing that franchise has. Oh, so they have a really good defenseman.
Subban is too cocky.
But I feel like Subban also gets the job done.
That
Not
usually
all the
leads
time.
to
He tries to put
cockiness.
the team on his back, and sometimes he fails miserably. Sometimes.
But the flip
he
side of
can-
that is if they got a shit team in front of him, he has to put the
Yeah.
team on his back to at least hold responsibility.
Greg Jennings.
Respectability, I guess. Craig Jennings.
There's a video on YouTube where this guy throws a screen pass to Greg Jennings and he breaks his leg.
on Madden.
He's playing. He's playing Madden, and he throws a pass, and Greg Jennings catches it,
And he broke his
jumps,
leg earlier in the game.
He breaks his leg right then and there. He
Oh.
jumps up to catch the ball, and when he lands, he breaks his leg. But he keeps running, and he goes end to end with it.
With the
The guy's
broken leg.
freaking out. He's like, Greg Jennings, this guy
Put the team on his
put
back.
the team on my back, dude. This dude broke his fucking leg. I don't know how he's still running. He's
Let's
like,
go into the mind of Greg
yeah,
Jennings.
yeah. He's like, let's go into the mind of Greg Jennings. Oh, I gotta do this. I gotta do this for my
Madden.
team. I gotta do this for Madden. And he's like jumping, and then it stops. He's like, yeah.
Then Darren Sharper. Darren Sharper, one of the hardest hitting safeties in the league.
Okay.
Running down on me.
So it sounds like this dude's created like a YouTube personality.
Yeah.
This is his thing, right? I have to ask, have you guys ever heard of something called Wizard People, dear readers?
No.
Okay. Same idea. Guy in a bar in Texas. Just knows the movies inside out. Would start reciting descriptions of the first Harry Potter movie. But he'd do it as Hunter S. Thompson. He's a journalist that used to get high and write journals. But anyway, so here's the voice. He'd be like, Harry looked up with eyes of power, knowing he had the power to crush every mortal within his and on and on and on. But it's just this bizarre thing. So what he did was he actually sat down and does a narration for the whole first Harry Potter movie. You mute the movie and play what he says, and it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Check it out. Wizard People, dear reader. I'm giving it a plug. I don't care. It's hilarious. But it sounds like what this guy's doing with Madden. Same idea.
I have a Craigslist ad for everyone.
Oh.
Okay, so it ties perfectly into our hockey discussion because
Nice.
this guy is looking.
Sticks and pucks or what?
He wants a stick and a stick.
Oh. Word.
Looking for a hockey player who likes to hang out. Male for male, 45, East Regina.
Nice.
Again, Regina, the city of fun.
Rhymes with fun stuff. Come on.
Right. Yeah.
Not for this gentleman, though.
No.
For this gentleman, another city would rhyme with fun. So?
I'm trying to think of a city that rhymes with dick.
Stovlet.
East-
Get on with it.
Eastwick. Done. All right.
So it is like this. I have a bit of a thing for hockey players. Rec hockey, organized hockey, or competitive. If you play hockey, you get attention. I can host and look after a game, after a post-game rubdown or some more fun too.
Nice.
I am down to earth, drug and disease-free guy that lives in Regina, and I can host. What's the plan?
Host
They
what?
host 4 times host the sex.
Oh.
So if you have a late game and need something rubbed out, drop me a line.
Nice.
I have picks that I can swap to those that catch my eye. If you want to wear your sweaty jock, that is totally cool with me. Actually, it is kind of hot. So if this gets your attention, drop me a line. I'm 5'11", 195, 45 years old. Straight acting guy who happens to dig other guys.
Nice. Nice.
So if you are gay, straight, or bi-curious, drop me a line, and we will see where it goes from there.
So I hear we're
No,
supposed to drop
we-
him a line.
So we have another paragraph.
Oh, okay.
Jesus, Macy.
He's a descriptive fellow.
Yeah, so flip me a pick. Preferred age range 24 to 35.
Okay, like some younger.
And oh yeah, make sure you play hockey. It is a total turn on, bro. No pick, no response. If you're sending your first email from a mobile device, give me a heads up. You will flip a pick back with your stats on a second email. If you fail to
With your stats.
so don't expect a response. Not those stats. More about the size of his penis.
I thought about like hockey stats. I was like that.
Hey, he's leaving it open. Maybe someone sends him their
Mine would
goals.
be like
and assists.
0 goals, 2 assists, 8 fights, 455 penalty minutes.
Alrighty, thoughts, gentlemen.
Woo!
I saw this and I sent it straight to Enjay.
Nice.
There's better ones. You know, I could have said the 5 ads I saw for looking for a junior hockey player who's above the age of 18 to have
So Graham James, is what you're saying.
oh,
Sorry, Sheldon Kennedy. Sorry, Theron Fleury. That was a tasteless joke.
Unknown third one or known third one.
I think they know who it is, but he kept his name out of the press.
You know his name's come out. I just don't
Oh, has
remember.
it?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
But he's like 18-year-old. He's like, yeah, I just like young hockey players. So I'm like, oh, that's so weird. There was like 8 of them. There was like 2 in Saskatoon, 2 in Regina.
Men or women?
Men.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's women that would put up the same ad. I mean, here's my thing. This guy likes hockey players, you know.
Yeah.
Good on him.
Good on him.
What I found interesting was that the hot, sweaty jockstrap was a turn-on for him.
Look at that smell.
I love hockey smell. Oh.
Hockey smell.
For real?
Oh, when I sweat when I'm playing hockey, I absolutely love
Like,
that
that's
smell.
the thing. Back when I played, I hated that. Like, I washed my gear religiously.
3 seasons I played, never washed.
Gross. Yeah, like that. So that funky hockey bag smell.
But like I washed my jock and my jerseys and my socks.
Yeah.
and
But I
everything.
mean, like, was it just that took you to the rink and took you to hockey? That smell means hockey too.
My mom secretly washed my equipment once, and I freaked out.
You
over
lost it on her.
Like, because not washing your equipment for a season is good luck or whatever they say.
Yeah.
So,
No, I was super crazy superstitious. So I tried it for about half a season. I think I was like 13 when I was playing Pee Wee or whatever, Bantam. And I made it about halfway through the season, and just that smell. Every time I opened my bag, I was like, oh, okay, no, can't do it. And I was having a pretty shitty year anyways. I wasn't a very good hockey player.
Hey, you score goals doing that because people scared to touch you because they'll get the stink on them.
I was the guy that stood out front. All right, so basically, I got goals when the good players banked one in off my leg.
So you're saying that you were basically that guy off Good?
No,
That whole game.
Well, and here's the thing.
I was a Ryan Smith player too. So.
I mean, I was checking line, power play, but I'd be parked out front. A lot of penalty killing. I was a grinder, but I wasn't skilled. I couldn't skate well enough. And all my buddies were ridiculously good hockey players. Then we played football, and I got them all back, so it's all good. Ruggers.
So basically, I have a confession to make on this podcast.
Uh-oh.
I've
Here we
recently
go.
started watching reality television.
Nice.
And, but I think I found my television show that I really like. It's called NYC Prep.
Okay, I watched about 8 minutes of this when I picked Stove Up, and I want to murder everyone on that show. Like,
There's some really attractive women on there. Don't worry.
yeah, but they're rich and oh god, those kids. Oh,
No, okay, so the kid that you saw, we can say their names. They're on television. I don't care. PC, the guy that was the murder guy.
yeah, the guy that was gonna put a bag over some chick's head because she took the front seat at their fashion show they were at.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
We're not joking.
Yeah, and like he was totally like, I should put a bag over her head and kill her. I mean, I won't because that's illegal, but I totally should. You're like, you're an asshole.
But and then he has to distract us with his snapback. But then the girl on there, Jessie, she's like, yeah, I just really want to get into the fashion business, and like I have this meeting with who's that girl that dated Lindsay Lohan?
That DJ,
Yeah.
Sam something.
Sam Ronson, Charlotte
Charlotte
Ronson.
Ronson.
Yeah, so Charlotte Ronson. It's like I really want to work for Charlotte Ronson. She's a really good designer. And yeah, that'd be so much fun. I'm like, you're an airhead. And like,
So do you watch it to just feel superior to a bunch of rich entitled prick kids? Or?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
So basically, now I've come up with my own television show I might pitch to A&E. Me, Nick, Brent, if you want to join us.
Yeah, sure.
We go to a prep school in New York for 1 semester.
You didn't tell me this, but I'm so down it's not even funny. Like,
So, yeah. So basically,
That'll be your off.
so they give us like, what's a reasonable amount? $500,000?
that's reasonable.
Well, no, production value, okay?
Yeah.
It's okay. So we have to get ourselves a loft, okay?
Dude, in New York? No. Well, you need Subway.
To me?
No, we need to get and we'll just walk to school, because
Yeah.
they'll get, what, $4,000 a month?
To hang with that crowd, dude? No.
To get a loft. To rent a loft.
In New York to rent a loft?
Yeah.
For like a year?
No, for 6 months.
6 months. No way. No,
What do you think it would...
Oh, God. Do you know what real estate costs in New York? Especially, like, these kids would all be living in, like, Manhattan and Upper East Side.
Yeah, that's kind of...
So, no, dude, like, I mean, an apartment building about the size of ours would be, like, $2 million.
For 6 months.
Well, okay, like,
We're saying just
for
to
a
rent.
year. No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, to rent, it would probably be about a $2 million lease. So you'd be looking about $1 million for 6 months.
Jesus me.
No, dude, like they have like 600 square foot bachelor apartments, like a closet with a toilet in the middle of the living or in the middle of the kitchen, because they're that small, and you pay, like, if it's in Manhattan, oh God, like $3-4 grand a month rent for that type of just little closet. Yeah, dude, New York, yeah, in the nice parts of New York, it's crazy. And again, like,
No, we're going to move to Harlem, and then we're gonna be in the...
Past
That's
110th
season
Street.
2. Season 2.
Yeah,
Season 1, we go to the prep school. Season 2, we're in Brooklyn. And then
Yeah,
season 3, we hit up Mexico.
Yeah, yeah. I'll be there for season 1 and 3. You guys can just cut me out of season 2.
Brooklyn's cool.
So I'm saying that we get A&E to pay for our house.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
they would. They'd be like, oh, it's going to be interesting television. We let that Honey Boo Boo go. We'll let these two dumbasses...
Yeah.
You guys are just as dumb as they are.
So we would get in, and then I'd be like, what am I going to do to blow the minds of these kids? So the first day, I'd probably show up to what I'm wearing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I might be wearing a belt. Yeah, I'm wearing a belt. Okay, I'm
Nice.
wearing some not very good jeans. I'm wearing a Hawaiian T-shirt, and I'm wearing another T-shirt in Spanish that has a monkey's asshole on it.
And his balls.
Yeah, and
Don't
his
leave
balls.
out the balls.
And then I have a very stylish hat.
I'd call that a chapeau.
Yeah, a chapeau. Okay, Nick would be the only decent-looking one here, kind of.
I'm in an orange Adidas.
Well, I didn't know what pants you were wearing.
I'm in an orange Adidas pullover, blue plaid pajama pants that are too
Great.
small for me, and some Foot Locker ankle socks.
This is our new feature called What Are You Wearing?
And then Brent would be wearing...
I'm wearing my senior jersey from my high school, Pilsner sweats, Hartford Whalers hat, rockin' flow, and just black, super high knee socks.
Yeah, so we'd go in, and I'd be like, oh, what athletics? Because, all the girls want to see my big muscles whenever I'm in athletics.
Indeed. I've heard many a fly lady say that they want to see your muscles taking
They
part
wanna
in
see
athletics.
stone.
I want to see the G
Person.
fellows muscles.
So I thought this would be a great idea. So I found one that they had no football teams, which I thought was weird. Like,
Yeah.
None of them. Like, oh, do you want to play, like, sailing?
Oh, dude, yeah, and like, they bet you they have a hell of a polo team.
Yeah. And
You have to supply your own
Rowing,
horse.
maybe?
Oh, yeah, rowing would be big.
Cricket?
Yeah.
Like, they had, like, a basketball team and, like, a lot of soccer teams.
Soccer would be
pussies.
bigger with that community. Hey, it's soccer, it's a good game. But
Oh, I forgot you coach soccer.
I got roped into coaching soccer, but no, they're good athletes, man. It's a good game. Most of the world can't be wrong, still.
Most of the world, yeah, whatever. They are.
America. Fuck yeah.
So, and then all I imagine is that various parts throughout the show, I'd be like, no, you're a bitch. I'd straight up tell this girl who's like, what are you wearing? I'm like, I'm wearing a shirt.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, even watching the 8 minutes that I did, so much of that life is... Well, okay, we talked about this on the drive over. This girl wants to go work for Charlotte Ronson. Why are any of these people on television making the money that they're making from this show? The Hills was the same. They're the kids of wealthy and or famous people. And so they get set up in a cushy gig, and then, 2 years from now, one will have a shoe line, and one will do jewelry, and one will do handbags, and they'll make a bunch more money. And they're just entitled, spoiled prick kids. Like,
And it's like not even their reality. It's like assisted reality.
Well, and let's get it straight. I had a buddy that did he's an actor in Vancouver. We grew up together. At 27, he just decided, I'm going to go to Vancouver and be an actor. And he's actually getting some work now, so good on him. But he was in a reality show in Calgary, a dating show. It's all scripted. Everything is scripted. The only stuff that isn't scripted is every now and then to shake it up. You say, yeah, the producer would run over to you and go, hey, you need to go tell this girl over here that she's two-faced. We just need some drama. So go pick a fight and just ad-lib it. That's reality television. Like, it's all
But the thing is, if I was like, I want free reign on this, because I will cause drama. Are you saying that put me in that?
Then we'd be the writers as well.
I think what I'm getting at, Stove, is the reason these shows, like the Kardashians, the reason these shows are successful is that everyday schmoes like us can watch it and feel superior to these people that have wealth and influence. Because they're vacuous, empty people. And their lives are, oh, well, I need to get the right shoes. Well, good on you. Enjoy that. And even talking about it, I'm sounding superior. Like, that's what people get off on, is feeling better.
The other one.
So you would love to be set up in that world and be able to tell them they're idiots to their face. Well, everyone at home watching the show, that's why they watch. Oh, if I could grab this prick and just tell them.
And I'd become the prick. Like, why is he being so mean to those rich white people?
Yeah.
I didn't, and I'm not being disrespectful. I did not see one black person on that entire show.
No,
one. I think they, like, yeah. I was getting quite mad. The PC guy said like, yeah, there's a lot of casual sex and casual drinking that happens in the prep school scene.
Casual drinking.
That sucks.
That's
Casual drug use.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And then he's like, and then this kid named Sebastian. I sent this to Nick last night. He's like, yeah, my passion is hooking up with girls. He had like 4 girlfriends within like 2 episodes.
Yeah. Good on him.
So basically, what I'm picturing in my mind right now
Well, he got him.
is us getting off of a plane, dressed like complete, just normal people.
To Run This Town by Jay-Z.
Yes. I was gonna say something like some Def Leppard or something, but that is even better. Just the yes.
It's gotta be something Canadian that
No, because Run This Town is or Empire State of Mind, because that's about New York.
Yeah. Okay, so we're walking off the plane. I'll be wearing probably some.
And it's in slow motion, and Stove's got like a kind of like a satchel, like one of those like
a fanny pack,
like arm purses.
Oh, okay, yeah, like a man purse.
Like
okay.
a man purse. And I see Brent carrying just a duffel bag, just a big hockey bag full of his stuff,
and an open box of Pilsner with eight bottles in it.
Yeah, and then me with headphones on, carrying one of those wheelie suitcases behind me in slow motion, just from the front view to that song, just walking towards the camera, and then I see just us in our room gaming and doing all this dumb stuff, and then just doing things we'd never actually do just to fuck with these rich kids, and it seems like the greatest thing ever.
Amy, get at me.
The point, I mean, because here's the thing. Anyways.
Would you watch it?
Well, no, for me, the one moment I would want to see is the first day at school, where you guys walked in not wearing Armani and the right clothes and looking the right way.
And the way the teachers would respond to it, even. Like, that'd be weird.
Well, because this happens in schools. Like, I've worked with young people in a few different places, and there was a school in Calgary called Centennial. New school, built in for the Centennial, so it'd be 2005. Right at the very south end of town, and that's where the wealthy folks in Calgary live. I had a buddy that taught there, and the kids used to wait for a janitor to get close so they could spit on the floor and then make fun of the janitor as he cleaned it up.
Oh.
What?
Yeah, dude. And it gets better. My buddy blew up at these kids when he saw this happen, okay? Runs them down to the office, blows up. They all call their parents. They're all incredibly wealthy, important people in Calgary, who then, of course, call back to the principal. The parents wanted him fired because he responded unprofessionally. Yeah, what the kids were doing was wrong, But he needs to be a professional and point out why it's inappropriate for them to do that to the janitor in a better way. So that's in Calgary, mate. So if we have pricks that entitled in Calgary, imagine these kids in New York.
No, and that's the thing.
That's my thing. I think you guys would have to go nuts and start literally killing people for how screwed up that world
that's
would
why
be.
That's why I think it would be cool, because these kids, they feel like they can just break their rules. They can do whatever they want. No,
but
I feel like
it's not a feeling. They've been told they can.
Yeah.
Right.
And they know that because their parents are rich and powerful.
Yeah,
that
you're
they
better
can,
than
they
those
can
other
have
people.
Everything. But the whole thing.
A black guy from Harlem.
if we
no fun. You get arrested and frisked every time you went anywhere in New York.
I think that's like a great idea for a show, whether it be us or even somebody else who went and did that, because like just the way that you could respond to that and just, you know, show these people, try to make them feel dumb about the way that they're acting.
Well, or even just to look at it honestly and have some kind of perspective on how most people live. Mm-hmm. For me, I think that was one of the big things with Romney. Like, Romney lives in that super wealthy, privileged, entitled world, and he had to try and come across as a normal guy. Not to go too long on those politics, but I think that's the reason he was so disconnected. He has no idea what real people do on a day-to-day basis, because he's been coddled since he was like 10.
Okay, well, I think we're going to go for a break. It's about 45 minutes in. We have a song from listener to the podcast. He's a New Jersey rapper.
Oh, nice.
Enjay, stand up.
Yeah, Enjay, he's a good guy. I shouted him out on Twitter. He shouted me out. He got us some followers, some views. Nice. He's an awesome guy. So if you could do your radio voice, his name's Metaphor.
Okay.
Swerve is the song.
Alrighty. So coming up during break time, people, we got a hot new artist out of New Jersey. Let me tell you about this guy, Metaphor, dropping rhymes and beats like you can't imagine. The song is called Swerve, and let's keep it going through the break. What?
Rap.
Yeah. Yo, Uncle Rock, what up? Got you. Metaphor, ready for war. Jersey. Lately I've been thinking like a boss, Ricky Ross, trying to get this letter so like salad, y'all getting tall, subliminals being thrown and I caught them, I'm Randy Moss. I got the power now, so keep talking, I turn you off. Money in my pockets, swag in my closet, dumping bodies in these caskets, going in just like deposits. Sunday rappers thinking they big, I'm feeling like Loretta Wallace, riding around and getting it, so go ahead and check my mileage. Yeah, need an oil change every week. You would swear I had life of bars, I murdered so many beasts. Rappers need pedicures, I destroyed so many feasts on my Colombian, and now I'm letting my dogs eat. Legendary, been in here for a while, I ain't gonna stop feeling like a lollipop, cause I'ma stick around. Used to fight for respect, could finally put my fist down. Chasing my dreams, so don't wake me up like Chris Brown. Work for what I deserve, grind all day, that's my word. Music all in my nerves, stay with paper like nerds. I'm gonna make it, you heard, that BS for the birds. Haters get sprayed like curb, stay in your lane and swerve. Work for what I deserve, grind all day, that's my word. Music all in my nerves, stay with paper like nerds. I'm gonna make it, you heard, that BS for the birds. Haters get spray like curb, stay in your lane and swerve. Round here, figures known to get left up in the cold, and they don't even help them, they just leave them there to fold. Can't even get a job, so them drugs is getting sold. Only time they see the greenest when the food getting mold. Nowadays, guns is power like an outlet to a plug. What happened to fist fights? What happened to real thugs? A push or a shove, real crips and real bloods. Figures heartless, they'll just give you a hot bullet and a shrug. Damn. Man, they took my boy DeMel. I still can't believe they took away my boy DeMel. From the looks of it, everything was going swell. Then he got hit with a shell that left a toll on Roselle. Life's getting taken away by the bundle. You gotta stay with protection and survive out of the jungle. Out of my team, some only survived out of that huddle. Either they sold with the holy or they in some type of trouble. Damn. Work for what I deserve, grind all day, that's my word. Music all in my nerves, stay with paper like nerds. I'm gonna make it, you heard, that BS for the birds. Haters get sprayed like curb, stay in your lane and swerve. Work for what I deserve, grind all day, that's my word. Music all in my nerves, stay with paper like nerds. I'm gonna make it, you heard, that BS for the birds. Haters get sprayed like curb, stay in your lane and swerve.
that was Metaphors Swerve, and we're back. So, I mentioned earlier in the show that Nick and Brent had a bit of a crazy night last night.
A bit too crazy.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to talk about that?
Why don't you start? You were there before I was.
Okay, so I'm babysitting my nephew, and
Okay. When your crazy story opens with them babysitting my nephew, that's not a good place to start.
no. And then my brother picks me up, and I'm driving home, and I'm trying to find a party because finals just ended, and I want to get buck.
That was one of the greatest things I've ever seen and heard. All right.
But anyways, driving home, and I'm texting a friend, Mickey Koplovich.
Shout out to Mickey Koplovich.
Big Mix, love that kid.
And
Mickey Klops.
I'm also texting Nicholas, Enjay Gennerich, and
He's all right.
I'm asking where the parties are at, and Nick tells me that Big John is having one, John Alcorn.
Big John.
And Mick picks me up, and then we go over to his house, then we walk to the party, like 15 blocks
Responsible.
in minus 37.
It was. I live near Nick. It's not that bad of a walk. Chill.
Walking into the wind, though.
I walk every morning.
Okay, gentlemen, it's cold. You get to the party.
But yeah, I get there, and
High class trim.
it seems alright. Like, I get there when 2 carloads of people show up. So I'm like, better start drinking. So
There's 2 carloads of people. Can I ask a question?
yeah.
If there had been like 3 people sitting in the living room, would your response still have been, "Well, better start drinking"?
Well, yeah.
Okay, because you're on a quest to get buck.
Yeah. So then I start drinking. I finish my first beer, and then me and Dan Tamashiro are gonna go.
Danny Tam,
Shout
love
out
that
to Dan
kid.
Tamashiro.
And then
Big Dan.
me and him are gonna go out for a cigarette, and then Liam McKircher, another shout out to him.
Shout out to Kirch.
Shout out to all the boys. Just
Bandwagon
like
jumper.
But then he tells me that we're allowed to smoke inside downstairs in a place in the basement. So
That's how serial killers operate.
So
Just
me-
warning.
So me and Dan are sitting down there. We're sitting on John's punching bag, and we're having a smoke. And then we walk upstairs, and everybody's smoking in the house. We're like, "Whoa!" Before he wasn't allowed to smoke, but now he is. And then
That's called alcohol loosening inhibitions when your parents are gone.
And
You
then
caught hell for it when the house stunk.
Then I see more people show up. I start drinking more and heavier. I can't control the pace that I'm going at just because I want to get really drunk really fast.
Mm-hmm. It's good to have a goal in life.
And then
Was there a fire at this party?
no,
No.
it wasn't that buck.
yeah,
There was a fire at the other one, and you guys basically started it and kept with it. And
a
So
fire.
What do you mean by
the
a
bonfire?
the bonfire.
No, like, I love that you're assuming Stoneman. Did someone burn the house?
Yeah, like that's what I thought he meant. Like inside there was
No,
a
the
fire. No,
bonfire.
there was no fire. It's the middle of winter. Nobody's gonna sit outside around a fire and tell
Get
stories.
a big fire? Oh, hell's yeah. Anyways, continue.
So then I'm sitting there and Nick's calling me and I don't really want to talk on my phone or anything because I'm at a party.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, "Yeah, I'm just about there. Meet me outside." And I'm like, "Okay." And then I just say bye, and he's probably trying to talk to me more because he wants to find out more about the party.
That's right.
So I just hang up on him, and I go stand outside because I lost my jacket for a bit. Standing outside there for about 5 minutes. He's nowhere in sight. So I quickly walk back in the house. I text him the address, and then he calls me again. I'm at the door, and I just hang up on him, and then I go to the door, let him in,
Very detailed. I like it.
and then I'll let him
Take it from there.
How his night
So
started.
basically, it sounds like Brent was well on his way.
Brent, by the time I got there, he was half pitched
So
already.
enough people had arrived
more
that
than
he
half
had.
pitched.
I love that your drinking is tied to the number of people. Well, more people arrived, so then I really had to start drinking. And then I didn't want to go any faster, but then 2 more people showed up. So shit, here we go.
He needs to be the most buck person in the building. So the more people there are, the more he has to up himself.
Up the buckitude.
I don't really want to toot my own horn, but I feel like I'm always the man of the party. Like I'm always just giving her 110%.
The last party I was
Everybody
at,
needs to know me at a party. Everybody.
The last party I was at, I ended up singing Gwen Stefani's Hollaback Girl.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah. We're gonna cut you off there.
Well
so.
played, Stove.
You're gonna cut.
But anyways.
Yeah. So Nick
I was chilling
arrives.
with a lady friend of mine,
Okay.
and that's when this whole calling thing was getting down. I was trying to find out where the building was, and we walk in, And I've been to parties at this house before, and as long as I can remember being parties there was no smoking allowed. And I'm not a smoker, but it was just the way it was. There's just no parties allowed. Or no, smoking allowed. What the fuck? Okay, anyways, yeah,
Hangovers.
Yeah, no parties allowed.
Hangovers, kids. Hangovers aren't fun. Let's learn and grow. Anyways, go.
So,
drink responsibly.
Anyway, so
if
I walk in, and everybody's just smoking. I see Dan Tamashiro on the couch, barely keeping his eyes open with a bottle of Bombay between his legs. Just
we were calling him Gordon. Gordon Bombay.
Nice, I like that.
And Brent's got Metallica on. Nice. Tell me I didn't get Dan into Metallica.
Okay, wait, which album?
Ride the Lightning.
All right.
That's For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Well, we're good then. We're good. All right, continue.
So they're sitting there vibing, and everybody's just having a good time. And the girl who I brought.
Sorry, if you said Reload, I would have choked you. Continue. Continue.
Yeah, I don't really like new Metallica, so.
The girl who I brought with me decided that she was just gonna drive. She wasn't gonna drink, so she kind of sat there. And when I walked in, I hadn't seen a lot of the people in a while. Because we've been doing finals.
Yeah.
So, you don't really get to see as many people like that. So they were all, oh, Nick, and I said hi to everybody there, and then...
A lot of love in the room.
And then things got out of hand really fast. When the Macklemore came on the stereo, Mick got up and started dancing. We had our arms locked, doing the whole foot dance, the little shinny dance or whatever you call it, on the couch, and
old Micklemore.
Oh yeah.
Was giving her.
Nice.
But yeah, so I don't know. It got to a point where I drank. Who was it? Somebody asked me if I wanted to have a shot in the kitchen, and I was like, okay. And I had like a Mickey vodka, and I drank it.
Oh, that was Brody.
And I drank it, and I drank it, and it was maybe 15 shots, not one, because there was like this much left, and I had just opened it.
So
the throat burned.
You went a little crazy.
Yeah,
okay.
and I was in one drink, and I didn't chase it or anything, so my throat was burning pretty bad.
Well, okay, it's not about a chaser. It's you guzzled vodka.
And you don't chase it, you're a man.
Well,
no.
Every other guy.
That's not the fact.
You're just saying it's not the fact because you chase drinks.
Because now we're gonna because
gentlemen,
you're about to start pulling out your penises and measuring who's is bigger. Besides, because whether you chase drinks or the whole point is it's just not a good idea. Okay, stop now. Stove was gonna give us a visual. No, but the key is it's more. When you're at a party, it's never a good idea to guzzle hard liquor. If you're going to do a shot, again, drink responsibly, guys. That's my point. Because, again, I was young once. The guy at the party's like, hey, watch this, and grabs his bottle. Todd Wilson was the guy at ours, and God, the guy was having DTs at 19 because of it. And he'd guzzle half of his bottle of rum and go, yeah, check that out. And then 3 hours later... he'd be a puddle on the ground and didn't have as good of a time as he would have if he had just sipped. So you're not typically that guy. That's why it throws me off to imagine you just guzzling a Mickey of vodka because. But I love that the problem was you didn't chase it. Anyways, continue.
Anyways, so and then I walk over into the hallway, and my ex's little sister was there.
Awkward.
And she got she told a friend to come up to me and give me the finger. As if that would ruin my night. Like, I'd be so crushed by it. So this little grade 9 girl comes up to me, sticks her little middle finger up at me. That's from her. And I was just like...
dirty looks last night from that whole group. They just sat in a corner and...
They weren't drinking anything. They weren't, like, with anybody. They were just kind of sitting there.
Every time I walk by, it's...
Yeah. And then...
For the record, Brent's doing his best pissed off 13-year-old girl. Goodbye.
But anyways, so she said she did that. She was like, this is from her. Gives me the finger. And I was just like, I hope one day I can be as cool as you. I really do. Because,
in that moment, why even take the time to mock him? It's just like, okay, thanks. Have a good night.
It's just, yeah. Like, I don't even know. Like, it's some grade 9 at a party with a bunch of grade 11s and 12s. Like, I don't know. It was so dumb. But anyway, other than that, it was a really good night until, like I said,
Well, and again, you're obviously still feeling the effects because, like, you guys look like genuine rat ass when we came in here this morning. And again,
morning,
Jesus, now it's morning for me too. But it was like it was a funk of hangover sweat and McDonald's grease.
McDonald's grease.
So last night I went to bingo.
How was bingo, Stove?
Yeah, there you go, Stoves. But we were out.
High class bingo trim, huh?
Let's not talk about McDonald's.
There is no high class bingo trim.
I'm sorry to hear that.
But 2, I think I made my mom lose like $500.
Oh.
So I'm a lucky guy to go bingo with. If you want to win, come with Jordan Stobra.
So and she just like wasn't paying attention,
And
missed that
she
she
had-
won the jackpot, or
Yeah.
were you distracting her?
No.
I won the loony pot once at bingo, $200. So.
We had when we were at the Blades game, we had a breakdown for the, what was it, 20 grand? We were going to win 10 grand from the 50-50.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. Didn't even get an autograph.
That's what
either.
me and Nick were going to do that one time. We bought like 25 or 30 50-50s thinking, yeah, man, we're going to rent a hotel room, have a sick party, blah, 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 when we win the money.
Yeah.
It's good to have a dream.
But I think I'm going to do a little bit of a stove rant.
Oh, is it that time?
It's
Here
that
we go.
time. So I'm going to preface this. I hate the generation that we live in right now.
Okay, so
And the reason is because we have people who think that they can't be tough and they have to be two-faced in real life, but they can say whatever the hell they want on the internet. I hate the animosity on the internet.
Ugh.
That's a fair rant topic.
Okay, so Nick, start being like 15 seconds.
Alright, I'll tell you when to go. And until then, I just want to say that I hope that your bingo night was equally as fun, if not better than ours.
Tell you one thing, you feel a hell of a lot better today, don't you?
Give it.
Regular.
Fuck people who put stuff on Facebook. You know, I hate when people are like, man, I hate that girl on Facebook. Her faces are so dumb. Or like say stupid stuff. Really? But you'll hug her at school and you'll be all awesome to her at school. You're two-faced. Deal with it. You know what? I deal with stuff in the streets. I'm straight up honest with people.
He's a G fellow, ladies and gentlemen.
I tell people if I have a problem with them. I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to be dishonest to them. I tell you if I dislike you. So how about you have enough balls to tell them in real life? Don't post on Facebook and this animosity stuff. I hope you deal with it.
Keep going.
So, you know what? I feel like we have a new rule. Don't be animositated on the internet. Because that's not good. And you're dumb if you do it. Ugh. Brap, brap.
You got 10 more seconds. You done anything else to say?
Less animosity, I think, is what the general message is.
So you gotta understand that's Facebook for you. That's,
No, I hate
If
it.
Facebook was a
network.
book, I wouldn't read it.
Here's the thing. I got to tell you guys, working with young people, that's the downside of social media. There's a lot of really good upside that is good that comes from it. But again, you'll get a stupid fight between two kids at school, and then they'll go home and all night, them and all their friends will just shit talk each other. And then they turn up the next day, and now there's 10 people that hate each other instead of 2 people. And it just gets stupider and stupider and stupider. I agree with you,
And
man.
people who post like catty statuses.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, really? You're going to post that? Like, someone posted a status about a certain internet phenomenon going on that Nick's barred from being talked about on the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll explain after. Cause Nick,
Cool.
Okay.
No, just talk about it because now you let it out. And
now
everybody's
I
like,
want to know.
Yeah, what is it?
So there's a recent internet phenomenon of this girl
Oh.
who made her use tampons
Suck.
on video.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's. Do you know what? I wish we could go back in time and I could unhear that. Okay. But again, honestly,
So, and they're complaining about it, and they're like saying, I don't want to hear about this. Like, why are you guys all posting about it? You're just giving her more attention. And I'm like, and she's like, I hate all those million statuses. Can you guys shut up? So I just take her post, and I add, I'm tired of all these people telling other people to stop hating on, to stop shutting up. And she deletes my comment, thinking that she's awesome. I'm like, and like, even like people were agreeing. It was a funny, I wasn't trying to be catty towards her.
Yeah.
No, it was a joke.
you were pointing out a little bit of hypocrisy.
And she deleted my comment, and the next day I'm like, really, you're gonna delete my comment? Like, I thought we were friends, so I thought it was fine to do. She's like, you're just stupid, and she gave me the finger in the middle of my final.
Nice. So the finger, there it is again.
Yeah, so I'm like, really? I'm like, okay, I'll write my.
Why is the finger so?
But, sorry, what were you gonna say there, bro?
One thing I dislike about Facebook, when all anybody ever posts for statuses is just bitching and bitching and bitching and bitching.
Yeah,
And
it's
it
like-
gets 75 likes. I post what I find to be a highly intelligent status and like come across as awesome. to myself, and
I love how much
very
emphasis
few
you put on the word
peers.
awesome. Awesome!
And
when
it
you-
gets
when
2
you're-
or 3 likes in one comment.
When your life quest is to be both buck and awesome, then you take that shit seriously. And I can feel the passion there, buddy. I can feel it. But
No, I totally agree. Like, you'll see a status of somebody got so drunk last night, 420, smoke weed every day. Faded Bob Marley.
So what's the worst one? Is it on Instagram? You know, because I follow this kid just for laughs now. And I'm not kidding you. He has like 8 photos. 6 out of the 8 of them are like, smoke weed, 420, hashtag Bob Marley, THC, hashtag Keith, hashtag...
Okay, but I gotta finish what I was saying.
March 20th.
I totally agree with what Brent's saying. Like, people post like dumb statuses, and everybody likes them. It like they get like 80 likes, and then I make like a nice status. I made my status yesterday. It was a Joe Budden quote, and it said
if you're trying to steal second,
you can't steal second base and keep your foot on first.
yeah.
3 likes.
Inspirational.
3 likes.
Yeah, but I mean, again, think about it. What would most people rather do when you bump into them and have a conversation? Would they rather talk about the good stuff that's going on, or would they rather bitch about what's making them mad? And the vast majority of people would rather bitch about what's making them mad.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and
That's all Facebook is now.
but just try and stay positive. Well, and again, I mean, good shit happens with Facebook. Arab Spring, all that stuff, it had an impact.
The status,
the downside sucks.
The status I think I've got the most likes on was I made a status and it said, throwing a lamp at bitches who need to lighten up.
That's funny.
And that's what got the like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or this new Facebook fad where parents get their kids to hold signs. If this gets 1 million likes, my mommy will buy me a puppy.
Yeah, and they share it. So the parents are, if you get 1 million likes on Facebook, we'll get you a puppy. So, and then they get 1 million likes, and then this one guy, this guy's my hero. He took a picture of the same one of him holding a sign. Said, my wife says if I get 1 million likes, I can have my balls back, because anybody who needs 1 million likes to do anything clearly doesn't have any testicles.
Yeah, and honestly, that's what I was going to say on the last one, is just that it's another realm for people to feel validated and important. Mm-hmm. And so if I can get likes, that means I have value. And yeah, if that's how you feel, good on you. I don't know. The one thing I do like about Twitter, at least as far as I understand it, because I don't really understand it, is that whoever you are is going to come across pretty naturally on Twitter. So if you're an asshole, people are going to be able to block you and go, no, that guy's an asshole. If you have interesting points, people will keep following you. So, I mean, I like that in that it just amplifies who you are. Mm-hmm. It's really easy to pretend to be what you're not on Facebook. And you know, and the one that kills me is the bullying that comes with it. That girl out in BC, like, that's a sad story.
Yeah.
You know, and that shit shouldn't happen.
Yes.
But I agree with you. It's just general negativity. Because for me, when you were talking about how Facebook's so negative, for me, it took me to, like, the news.
Yeah.
Like, the news is generally tied to making you afraid of all the stuff that's going on around you, and it's just not a healthy worldview to have. Right?
Yeah, no, and Facebook is the worst for that. And Twitter, I do agree. Twitter is really good because, well, when you tweet something, it can only be 140 characters.
Yeah, you can't start beef.
You can't bitch about your life in 2 sentences. Well, you can, but it's hard, and nobody gives a hell.
It forces you to be a little witty.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think one of the last tweets I actually like tweeting was, did anyone else notice the Punjabi hockey net in Canada had? Because that's happening.
Is there one?
Yeah.
Good on them.
Yeah, I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
But it was like hashtag confused, because that's kind of you see it.
Yeah.
First night of hockey, just a bit confused by it. I'm like, wait, what? So yeah, you know, you can be yourself on Twitter. I don't feel like you can be. Like, you can, but you come off as an asshole most of the time.
Well, and again, having worked with immigrant students, hockey is one of the things that they can latch on to really quickly and find a community, right? Yeah. So, I mean, Vancouver Canucks, cause especially kids from India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, they usually come through Vancouver, Surrey, or have family there or something. So they're all Canucks fans, and they're rabid about that stuff. So, I mean, I dig that. It's good that CBC's reaching out to them.
Yeah.
Or is it CBC or is it TSN?
CBC.
Is it still CBC?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so, TSN has the song now, right?
Yeah. So for our last segment, turn on the class of music there, Enjay. Oh yeah, we have music behind yours.
Do we?
Yeah,
exciting.
We have some Reginald P Spivey guide to literature, and this week he's going to be talking about Othello.
Thank you, Stove. So again, folks, at times we've been criticized for being a little lowbrow. So to class it up, these gents asked me to talk about Othello, another of the Bards, great plays. Actually written right around the same time as Macbeth, right around 1608.
I thought you were talking about like the board game.
Oh, that's fun too. Anyways, Othello, here we go. 2 main lessons in Othello. White people are afraid and hate minorities, and men hate women. That's the key to the play, right there.
That sounds a lot like actual society.
Again, that's why the Bard's awesome, Brent. See, bright fellow there. So, basically, there's this dude Iago, and then there's this dude Othello. Othello's a black guy, Iago's a white guy. They're both generals in Italy. And Othello gets a promotion. And so Iago goes, well, screw that. That black guy shouldn't get that promotion. And he uses the equivalent of the N-word at the time. So basically, he decides his goal in life is to destroy Othello. So that's a white dude jealous of a black guy getting a promotion. Sounds like modern society. So sure enough, Iago gets his trust, earns his trust, makes him think he's on his team, becomes good buddies with him, but he puts the seed in his mind that his wife's cheating on him. And just keeps going and gets Othello so worked up, and that's where we get to the men generally hate women. And I don't mean all men, but hear me out. So this guy who, a former competitor of his for this promotion, is putting poison in his ear that his wife's screwing around on him. Instead of ever even talking to the wife or discussing it, he just gets real angry one night and chokes her to death. Because that's the right way to handle it. And essentially you get to the end of the play, and Iago, the guy that put it all together, said, well, what do you expect from a black guy? So the long and short of this story is that if there's a white person that feels like a minority got something that they should have gotten, they're going to create problems and be all pissy about it. And the best way to get a man to self-destruct is to just put the notion in his mind that he can't trust his wife. So what I'd say is, everyone hug a minority, trust your wife, and have a good day. For literary classics, this has been Reginald P Spivey.
Oh, my scotch was very good.
Did you like that?
Yeah.
It's nice and peaty, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it has a nice apple flavor to it.
I'm just gonna go.
Scotch never has an apple flavor, Stove. Good try though, bud.
I'm gonna go sit in my bathrobe and smoke a big fat Cuban.
Do it. Yes. Actually, do you know what? That's not intellectual.
That's what.
You're always a pretentious douchebag if you're sitting there smoking a $60 cigar
In a bathrobe.
in a bath. Well, the bathrobe's cool. The smoking jacket. Sorry, Brent.
C was drinking last night. Scotch on their rocks.
Really?
Real nice.
What kind of scotch do you know?
Oh, I'm not even sure.
Probably not very
Grants or something.
Yeah.
I'm not a real scotch aficionado. Wow, I like it. So yes, but again,
He was looking classy though, I must say.
a lot of racism in that play, a lot of misogyny, and you get to the end, and the whole point of it is, yeah, we suck. So that's the play. All right, Stove. What's next on the list, or is that?
Unless we have anything else to talk about, can anyone think of anything else they want to talk about? You know, I'd say Classified's new album. Go get it. He tweeted us, retweeted our link last podcast because this swell guy.
Classified did.
Yeah, I didn't show you that.
No.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
Classified tweeted our link.
yeah,
Hey, we're famous bitches. Recognize.
yeah. So thank you, Classified. You know, we really appreciate it. I really enjoy his new album. I bought it the first day it came out. Bought it over True North by Bad Religion.
Ooh,
Which-
that's a big choice, dude. Picking a rap CD over hip hop.
but I'm getting that CD as soon as possible. You know,
Hollywood Undead's new album.
Real nice.
Yeah, is it solid? I'll have to check it out.
It's smooth.
No Love Lost. Joe Budden, February 5th.
You like counting down the seconds?
Yeah.
Nice.
so do we have a special announcement on the?
And I don't want to make a special announcement yet because it's not for sure.
You were supposed to make your special announcement yesterday at noon.
Yeah, and you keep pushing it back.
I may or may not be here on the next podcast.
I'm not saying he will be here.
You'll be here digitally, though not physically.
Yeah.
So, touch him, smell his hair,
Yeah.
whisper sweet
So
nothings.
do you want to
in his
explain
ear.
why maybe? Or are you just chill?
I got some opportunities in music over on the East Coast, and I feel as though it'd be a good thing to do, music-wise. Head over there and just try something new for a change, and that's pretty much.
Well, I would like to wish you all the best, mate. It's been a pleasure working with you here the last few years. But I can't do that because I'm affiliated with the West Coast, and so now I'm actually going to shoot you before I leave tonight.
So you're gonna shoot in front of the new Jean Pascal boxing card.
No, dude, it's Saskatoon. So I'll take him to what's the fancy new beer place that's downtown that's always packed. I'll take you down there. It's Hudson's. The coolest thing we have. Yeah, Hudson's. I'll shoot you in front of Hudson's. That's the equivalent of shooting you in front of a Las Vegas fight. But yeah, no, all the best out there, man.
Okay, well, and so that is the end of the Stove Show. We will be back. Nick will be recording with us over Skype.
Bitches.
Hey, and like I said, it's not even official yet. So if I come back on the next podcast and I'm still in the flesh,
don't sit there and say he's two-faced. He's lying.
No, Joe, we're gonna do. We're gonna call you a liar on the show, and then we'll all go on Facebook and say what a two-faced bitch you are, and how we hate you, and then we'll just bully you until you kill yourself. That's gonna be, if you're not in Ontario, that's gonna be our response, because that's how we do shit here. What?
On the Stove Show.
On the Stove Show. I can't believe someone we talked about musically actually tweeted about us. That's fun.
Yeah, that's fun. So, thank you.
Metaphor guy.
Hey, yeah, Metaphor, absolutely, man. Thanks. Yeah. That's a good track, man. We gave it a listen here. It's solid stuff. So we appreciate the love and right back at you. Okay. Was I too white to say that? That sounded really white.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Just the right amount.
It was just street enough.
It was just the right amount.
I'm starting to feel that buckness that Brent's putting out. It's overpowering.
All right, folks. We'll see you on the next episode.
See you guys.
6.